guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. I'm back here at Ed Morse Mazda in Port Richey, Florida, because guess what? We have Mazda's #1 selling vehicle, period. This is the 2020 Mazda CX-5 Grand Touring Reserve. This one, on top of it, has all-wheel drive. But before we get into this eternal blue Mazda CX-5, let's talk about this compact SUV class. Probably one of the most competitive. You have big sellers from the other brands. You look at Toyota with the RAV4, that's their big seller. Obviously, Honda with the CR-V, big seller. This Mazda CX-5 is bringing not only that unique styling from this brand, but also an interior that's really going to separate it from the competition. Not only this one being a Grand Touring Reserve, but even other trim levels. But since we have this particular one, you're going to see the highest quality Nappa leather, wood trim, and turbocharged fun and all-wheel drive, getting the traction to the ground. So let's go ahead, dive into the CX-5 GTR, as we like to call it, and see, is it the compact SUV that you should be parking in your garage? Right off the bat, Mazda CX-5 has very, very unique lines. And what's awesome is that even though there hasn't been a major redesign in a few years, still looks super fresh. That's how good their design philosophy is. Very slim and trim on the headlight design, full LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps, and they're the adaptive kind, which means that they're going to turn with the steering wheel. You go left, lights are going to shift left, so on and so forth. But I love the look, the chrome trim, the way it kind of locks in. It's like putting a Lincoln log cabin together, really locks in nicely. Now we come down, nothing fake, eternal blue. I'm gonna date myself. The Bangles sang a song called Eternal Flame. I'm digging the color. It looks great, eternal blue. We drop down, nothing fake. You have your LED fog lamps, nice flat black, and then we come across that beautiful open grille design. Now what I love about it is that it's gloss black. I love the actual design into that grille, and then it has a concave flow to it, which really makes it stand out. Another thing I want to point out is if you look at the chrome trim, not only does it look like a half pipe, I used to skateboard back in the day, got a nice half pipe action, it's also mimicking the actual design of the Mazda logo. That's smart, the way Mazda pulled that off. Flat black in the center section, gonna bring in that airflow. Look at how the hood kind of just cascades down. Very aerodynamic and probably one of the cleanest looks of the compacts, especially when you're looking at the CR-V or the RAV4. Now, when we get up onto the hood, same exact message that you'll find in their other models. You have clean lines that start at the front fascia, go into the hood, and that's all you need. That's all you want. We come around the bend, we have a little bit of flat black that goes around the fender treatment, nothing too fat. I'm glad they didn't go fatter. Keep it nice and slim, and then check out what we're working with, wheel and tire setup. So you have this beautiful, sort of like a brushed aluminum finish, 19-inch wheel, 225 in the width, a meaty 55 series sidewall, and then like I said, all-wheel drive. So power is gonna get to the ground, all four wheels. We go down the rest of the CX-5, nice rounded lines, all the way down that belt line. Of course, you're gonna get color matched mirror caps, slim and trim turn signals, no roof rails, so it's nice and sleek. You have a sunroof. The flat black just comes up a little bit on the side, has a little bit of character line to it. Chrome trim just on the bottom, and I like it. It almost looks like a hockey stick. Really like the way it flares out. Good looking quarter window. We get to the rear, and I'm telling you, nobody really does taillights better in this segment than Mazda. LED taillights, I love the way the housing extends off the back. Very, very low, simple roof spoiler. Don't need anything super aggressive. We drop down, and then same thing on the bottom portion. You have your all-wheel drive badge. Real simple and tasteful. It doesn't need to be on the front fender or down by the lower rear fender. And then you have your twin exhaust outlet. Simple, clean. Let's pop the hood and see what's powering this CX-5. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. One thing I'm gonna zonk twice is this prop rod. I think on the Grand Touring Reserve, it should be hydraulic strut. Plus, why put it right in the middle of where the opening is? But the good news is underneath the hood is turbocharged power. You're looking at a 2.5 liter inline 4 turbocharged engine. If you run premium fuel, you're looking at 250 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. If you don't use premium fuel, it cuts the horsepower down to 227. It's all routed through a 6-speed automatic transmission. If you're wondering, well, Joe, how much does this thing weigh? You're looking at 3,795 pounds, 0 to 60 in a very crisp 6.1 seconds, quarter mile, 14.8, and a top speed of 130 miles an hour. MPGs, 22 in the city, 27 on the highway. So nice to see that flexibility. And if you were gonna have a drag race with a CRV, with a Tucson, with a RAV4, this thing's gonna blow all the doors off. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to that interior and see what the Grand Touring Reserve brings to the table. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Mazda CX-5 GTR Grand Touring Reserve. I know you're at that point where you're like, Joe, all right, you're talking big game about this CX-5. Let's hear the numbers. MSRP, the way this one sits with all-wheel drive, is $36,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, to the door panels, you're getting that beautiful wood-style trim. You're getting the nice contrast stitching, soft touch material everywhere. Armrests, super soft. You're getting the optional Bose sound system. You got a space down there for a couple Subway subs. Get a 12-inch cold cut combo and a cold cut trio, and then a Mr. Pibb to wash it down, all in one door pocket. You come into the dash, same soft material. The stitch work is great. That wood trim with the silver is very tasteful. You have an 8-inch infotainment system screen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and guess what? It is touchscreen. So that's really, really nice to have that so easy. I know some people are hating the stylus screen, but you know what? It's very clean to see and very easy to get to, and it really isn't too high for the most part. I love the way they style their AC vents. You got your start-stop button conveniently placed, heated steering wheel, dual climate control, ventilated seats and heated seats, a nice supersized cubby down here for your M&Ms. Go peanut M&M. Live life on the edge. Go peanut M&M, unless you have a peanut allergy, then you're really gonna be living life on the edge. Probably be dead, but 12 volt, nicely placed. Technically, I'm gonna zonk this because it should be wireless charging at $36,000. Gloss black, not too much. This is gonna control that 6-speed automatic transmission. You do have a sport button. Flip it into sport, that's gonna adjust how the transmission and engine talk with one another. Let me show you the backup camera. So we throw it in reverse, there's your backup camera. No trajectory, and it is a little grainy, but at least it takes up most of the screen size there. You have your direct drive control knob to go through that rainbow of flavors with your selections on the infotainment system. Here is your key fob, updated key fob like all the other Mazdas, that Zippo lighter style. Really slim, very thin. It's not gonna poke you in the groin, which is good news. 2 cup holders. Look at this stitch work. Look at that, nice and soft. Soft material on the armrest. We lift it up. You got a party tray where you're not gonna scratch the M's off your M&Ms, a 12 volt, 2 USBs, and a nice cubby where you could stack up, or I should say stand up, some Twinkies. If you stack them up, you're gonna squish them and there's gonna be cream everywhere. Seats, love the leather, perforated. The stitch work is great. Love the controls. You have power assist controls for both the driver and the passenger. And you're also gonna get that nice sunroof, and I'm glad they went with a lighter style headliner to kind of just make it up a little area in here. I am zonking the mirror though. Still no frameless auto dimming mirror. It's your standard auto dimming mirror. It works, but it's just a little too bulky for me. Get on over to the business end though. I want to show you what's behind the wheel of this CX-5. All right guys, business time. Behind the wheel, you do have your seat controls, easy to get to, memory seat settings, very, very nicely done. Steering wheel has a great thickness. Stitch work is nice, thin on the spokes, flat black buttons so you don't have to worry about fingerprints. You do have 2 small paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down that 6-speed automatic transmission. And then gauge setup is very clean. You have an analog tach, analog coolant and fuel gauge, and then you have the digital display in the center that you could toggle through different information very easily, and you have a head-up display. So you are getting quite a bit of visuals to gauge what's happening with your CX-5 as you're driving down the road. Plenty of headroom. Let's get to that back seat and see how your passengers are gonna be liking this all-wheel drive turbocharged SUV. All right guys, back seat time. Plenty of room, plenty of headroom, plenty of leg room, plenty of new room. You got your 2 AC vents. The leather is great, so soft. The stitch work is awesome. Flap this guy down. Look at this, nice and high, still soft. You got your heated seats, 2 cup holders, and then guess what? It has you connected. Open up the door, you got your USBs and some felt lining. So if you put your Slim Jim in there, you're not gonna rub off the meat on your Slim Jim. That's important. No guy wants to rub off his meat, at least not himself. Put that up. Everything else feels really comfortable back here. You got pockets for both people. That's also a nice touch. But why don't we get to the cargo area and see how much room there is in the CX-5. All right, guys, time to check out that cargo area. What's nice is on the GTR Grand Touring Reserve, nice electric assist, opens up nicely. You do have a 12-volt conveniently placed, and look how much space that you have, even with the seats up. Now, if you like hard numbers, I'll give you some hard numbers. You're looking at 31 cubic feet of space with the seats up, and then what's wonderful is, guess what? You just pull here, seats nicely just fold down. Look at this. I like these little levers. I'll make that one go down. Look at that. Now you just maximize your space to almost 70 cubic feet. Let's look underneath the rear. You do have a nice spare, which is great as well, so you're not gonna have to carry around your rabbit's foot hoping that you're gonna get home with a can of Flat Fix. Push the button, that drops down nicely. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's see what this GTR with all-wheel drive performs like. All right, guys, we're leaving Ed Morse Mazda. We're in the 2020 CX-5 Grand Touring Reserve, all-wheel drive. Right away, I love the driving position in the CX-5. Looking out across the windshield, it's super clean, and everything else just makes sense the way that it's laid out in here. All right, guys, pulling away from the stop sign. Nice throttle response. I'm gonna go ahead and put in sport mode. That's gonna adjust how the transmission communicates with the engine. Right away, everywhere you look in here, it feels very high level of fit and finish. Definitely feels like it costs more than the MSRP price for this particular one. Visibility out the back is really nice. Out the front, great. Side windows, awesome. Even the side mirrors, they're a good size, but they're also shaped nicely. It's like they put some actual thought into making some tasteful design, which is really, really nice to see. Engine is super smooth. Even being turbocharged power, you'll be surprised. The boost comes in very, very low. Let's go ahead and do an acceleration test here. Really test out the all-wheel drive capability and the turbocharged power. So on throttle, here we go. I'm telling you, it's got a nice sound. Shifts are smooth. I really, really like the way that this gets up to speed very quickly, a lot faster. We're talking like 2 seconds faster than something from Honda or Toyota or Hyundai. That to me, right off the bat, is something that really entices me and makes me say, hey, let me give this CX-5 a little bit better of a look. Driving down the road, soaks up the bumps nicely, and really just getting to everything inside the cabin, it's very well laid out. I wish that there was wireless charging, but from a standpoint of dual climate control, heated and ventilated seats, it has you covered there, which is really, really nice. All right, guys, another acceleration test. Let's see how she handles through this left-hand bend. On the brakes. This is really where you could see the work that Mazda has done with the chassis engineering and with the suspension setup. It allows this vehicle, even though it is a compact SUV, to have a nice, engaging drive, good feedback. I love the way the back is communicating with the front and vice versa, and I'm getting good communication to the steering wheel. And I'm telling you, the all-wheel drive system in this keeps you planted the whole entire time. Having the head-up display is nice, and it's real simple. It just has your lane keep assist feature and your speed, your actual speed there. I think for this particular vehicle, that's plenty. The seats are supportive without being super firm. And just even the passengers in the back seat are gonna enjoy driving in this Mazda CX-5 with you, because they're gonna have plenty of space and comfort as well. But back on throttle, 6-speed just drops down very nice. Turbocharged power is really helping out over this bumpy road. Super smooth. I'm telling you, if you want a sporty, compact crossover SUV, this CX-5 checks off so many boxes. And then on top of that, being the Grand Touring Reserve, you have all the nice finishes everywhere while you're driving in here. I mean, that makes it even more wonderful. But let's see how she drives on the highway. We're gonna go ahead and get on throttle here. Easy to merge with all that power and acceleration. I think another thing that I really like about this CX-5 is it doesn't feel its size. It actually feels smaller while you're driving it, which is great. Now you got the room that you want, but it doesn't feel like a large SUV by any means. Turning the CX-5, easy peasy, back on throttle. I'm telling you, it just leaps because it's getting that traction down very efficiently. Just leaps from a dead stop and really just gets up to speed nicely. Smooth, quiet, comfortable. I'm telling you, this CX-5 really is, it shows why it's the #1 selling SUV for Mazda. I mean, this is their #1 selling vehicle. CX-5, makes sense. Great size, performance, comfort, and then lots of different trims. This one happens to be the top one, but hey, there's other trim levels as well where you still get plenty of functionality and great materials and everything else. All right, guys, I want to make a U-turn here, and we're going to get on power and just show you how planted this thing is. Gets the power down so smooth. You're off and running, and that's what I love about the CX-5 is that it covers all the bases. For those who want the nicer finishes, you get it. Those who want the extra power, you get it. And those that want a sleeker look, you're getting it with the CX-5. But hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel of what this vehicle is all about. We're gonna get back to Ed Morse Mazda and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another wonderful day here at Ed Morse Mazda. Definitely got to thank Quentin and the rest of the crew getting us access not only to a CX-5, that's a 2020, but also the GTR, the Grand Touring Reserve with all-wheel drive. I really think that this is a compact SUV standout and really just has that clean styling with a lot of performance and tech inside to really make your driving experience that much more enjoyable. But if it's cars like these, or SUVs I should say, like these that you want to keep seeing on the channel, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Radies Rise merch. Gotta give it up to Big Guns McGee, Tom Motioner working the camera out here in the Florida sun, birds pooping on them and everything. So we'll get that cleaned off, Tom, and just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.